Hello.
Yes.
Swapan sir, am I audible? This is Krishna Trivedi, founder of Together with You. Am I audible to you, sir?
Yeah. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'll unmute. Okay. I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, yes, I can hear you clearly, sir.
Okay. Okay. Uh, the host would be Dr. Upadesh Verma, right?
Sir, due to some very emergent,
Yeah.
we will be starting the session in 2-3 minutes. Please wait. Uh, Due to some reason, Mr. Upadesh Verma is not able to join the meet. We are waiting for the arrival of our host and other members. Just we'll be starting in 5 minutes.
Ajit Khushigram is joining for that. Hello.
Ye- Yes, sir. Ajit sir is joining in a minute.
Okay. We have two other, I thought, ex-army people who were to
Yes, sir. I'm
join.
just checking in the participation list. There are two
Yeah.
more persons
Yeah.
in
One is Colonel
participation.
Ray and one is Colonel Tyagi.
Yes, sir. I'm just checking in the participation list.
Yeah.
Sir, good morning, sir. Colonel Tyagi
Yeah.
here, sir. Colonel Sudhakar Tyagi here, sir.
Yes. Good. Great speaking to you. Just a minute. Let me see. Yeah. Colonel Tyagi here. Acha
Sudhakar
Sudhakar.
Tyagi.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes. Yes.
sir.
Great. Done. You are from which regiment?
Sir, I am from artillery and
Okay.
I am this
And,
99 commission, sir.
and settled in
Settled in Gurjinder Bihar, sir.
where?
Gurjinder Bihar, sir.
Gujinder Vihar. Okay. I am from Pune. Settled here after my
Sir, sir.
retirement.
Nice to talk to you, sir.
Okay.
Ajit sir, I request you if you can open your camera and mic.
Yeah, hello. There was a problem in my system, so right now I have logged in on my phone. I am logging on another system also, meanwhile. So I hope sound and everything has been checked. Hello?
Yeah, your voice is absolutely audible. There's no
Same here.
problem.
Same
Good,
here.
good, good, good. So what I will do is I'll start, and meanwhile I'll connect on my another system. So let me introduce the distinguished speakers who are here amongst us. In fact, we are very happy to celebrate this Vijay Divas, and it's a big occasion because a big country was created out of a big country in the sense of population, and then lot of uh, problems were there in Bangladesh. That's why Bangladesh had to be liberated. So there are a lot of seniors and people from the armed forces who know a lot more about from than us. So I'll straight away introduce them and then ask to start the discussion. So Brigadier Swapan Kumar Lahari ji, you'll like to start. So I'll introduce you before and then you can start.
Yeah, absolutely. No issues.
So let me introduce uh, Brigadier Lahari ji. Uh, just one. We also have a pictorial description of 71 ops, which we can show it later. So I'll just start with the introduction part. Brigadier Dr. S.K. Lahiri was commissioned in 1975 in the Indian Army and has served for 33 years in all types of terrain and formations. He has undergone the prestigious Defense Services Staff College and completed his PhD after retirement. He commanded his unit in Punjab during Operation Vijay, after which he was selected for the elite higher command course. He has had instructional tenures in the Officers Training Academy and Defense Services Staff College, and also served on staff in the Military Secretary's branch in the Army headquarters. He finally hung his boots as commander in CME Pune. Thereafter, he served for a year in the corporate sector and for 8 years as the director of Army Institute of Technology in Pune. He is an avid reader of strategic and military affairs and has various publications to his credit. So I request Brigadier Swapan Kumar Lahari ji to kindly start the talk.
What can I say? Today is a great day, I would say, the Vijay Divas. And why it's great is that it's a story of the shortest war in history, military history, which set about shaping a South Asian geopolitical environment and involved the new nation of Bangladesh being created. It celebrates the victory of a democratic country like India using all its might against Pakistani military government. We had a well-defined military strategy based on maneuver against Pakistan's abolitionist positional warfare. We had limited goals. We were told that just liberate the country, do not occupy it. That is Bangladesh. And on the Western Front, hold, don't let the Pakis get in. Along with it, one would say that there was complete synergy between the armed forces, the political leadership, the diplomatic forces, and all the administrative forces, the like of which are very seldom seen. Coming to the armed forces itself, they're the only war, if we look back from 47, 62, 65, none of these three had all the three elements, that is, Navy and Air Force, simultaneously being engaged in a big manner. Whereas in 71, all three were very heavily engaged. And since then, never has it been done, neither in Kargil limited war scenario or anywhere else. So it celebrates that.
Yeah.
It again shows.
It would be great if you can open your camera.
I should, okay. So I think one can see me. It again shows that the political leadership at that time pure enough to respect the armed forces, to work in an autonomous manner, and in a institutional autonomy was granted. They had given the option to our flamboyant gentleman, General Field Marshal, then General Sam Manekshaw, to decide the timing. and prepare for war for the next 6 months. This sort of maturity is seldom seen. There's a story. When I was in 1988 in Staff College, and Field Marshal resided there, and he used to come very often to address us. In one of his lectures, I've heard him again 4 to 5 times during High Command course in Mao as well as in other formations. He mentioned that on 28th April, the whole cabinet called him over and asked him, are you ready to go into Bangladesh and stop this exfiltration of refugees from there? There were 10 million refugees, a crore worth of them, had flooded Tripura, West Bengal, and all the bordering states. 2 lakh of them were Muslim Bengalis, and 8 lakhs, the later half, were all Hindu Bengalis. He turned around and said, Mrs. Prime Minister, let me handle it as the defense forces are supposed to do. Otherwise, you please take my resignation. Later, Mrs. Prime Minister called him over to her office and told, Sam, I knew in your straightforward manner you will say this. I also know the problems that are there in going into Bangladesh, a land of mighty rivers of Meghna, Padma, and their Jamuna in these pre-monsoon days. But I have a lot of hawkish colleagues who are, she was young at that time, not a very established political leader, who wanted to gain the glory of liberating Bangladesh. She said, I wanted you to put it across to them. And he did, in no small manner. To put up your resignation papers in the face of the complete political leadership requires moral courage. And they realized it. And they equivocally said thereafter that we are totally in support of you, General Saab. Please go ahead and do whatever you want, but keep us in the loop. Coming to this flamboyant General Sam Manekshaw, he was no armchair general. He had gained his military cross in this intense operations in Burma, in the Battle of Sitang River, where he was so badly injured that people assumed that he was dead. He was then with 4 by 12 forces. That was before partition. Thereafter, he shifted to Gurkhas, and the Gurkha troops worshipped him. Even today, they talk of Sam Baba, as if he is a god to them. This man went around completely overhauling the plans in the next 6 months. He made a team. There were people like General Jacob, who was the Chief of Staff of the Southern Command, at that time Brigadier Sethia, and others that were involved from the Navy and Air Force. He established a command room in the Eastern Command headquarters, and there was complete synergy. In the meanwhile, Mrs. Prime Minister asked him, General, what would you like me to do? He requested her, ma'am, international opinion is very necessary. Unfortunately, the West is with Pakistan, USA being its biggest supporter. So if you can do something about it, because once the US's Enterprise of 7th Fleet comes in with their nuclear-armed fleet, very little we can do about it. So Madam Gandhi, she initially sent Swaran Singh, the External Affairs Minister, knocked on every door, told them about the barbaric ethnic cleansing being done by the Razakars and the East Pakistan forces. But none of the nations heeded her words. But the public sympathy had started growing in these nations for the cause of India. She finally struck a fantastic brilliant stroke of signing the Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty in August 71. Came back and told the general, we are ready. That time the monsoons were on. The general said, please wait a little longer. The Chinese are hand in glove with Pakis. Let's wait for the snows to fall on the Himalayan passes, and there's one less country to worry about. Now, if we look at the overall scheme of things, we find that if we look at the force distribution, yes, Indian army was larger, 850,000 at that time against 350,000 of Pakistan. But Pakistan had good air force, sprinkled navy. But what we got in the final bargain, 93,000 soldiers surrendering at the Ranma race course, is something to really be proud of. After Second World War, there has never been such a scenario where 93,000, amongst which there were about 81,000 uniformed people and 12 to 13,000 were civilians, surrendering within 30 minutes of a warning given by General Jacob to General Niazi. If you don't, we will let the civilian hordes pounce on you. The sort of maneuver warfare that was done by the Indian Army from all three sides, the pincer movements, we had from the west coming to the northwest, we had 33 Corps getting into the hilly and Bogra areas, and there were large, very intense battles there. To the southwest, we had 2 Corps, and from the east, the most important one, we had 4 Corps, led by General Sagat Singh. And from the north, of course, we had the 101 communication zone. Now these people, they got in, but it was not hunky-dory. If you can see the overall wounded list, we had approximately 3,000 killed and another 15,000 injured. Whereas you look at the Pakis, they had approximately 3 times that amount in both killed and wounded. So there were intense battles wherever it took place. And the battle of Hilly, Lance Mag Albert Edgar, 14 guards, posthumously was awarded the PVC. There were setbacks. We had planned to capture the Coronation Bridge to cross the mighty Meghna River for 4 Corps to come to the west of Meghna and then tie up, because the ultimate political objective was to capture Dhaka. Somehow the parties were able to destroy it before we could capture it in time. But General Sagat thought out of the box. He says, let's use our Taliban troops, our para troops at Tangai, cross our tanks and get into this area. And he did so. And married up with the para troops were already dropped in Dhaka. This sort of a swift maneuver from all sides actually froze the minds of the Pakistani generals. Otherwise, there's no reason why 93,000 soldiers would surrender in this manner. Hats off to these generals. On the Western front also, there were very intense battles. In fact, if you look at the list of PVCs, only one was Lance Naik Ekka in the Eastern Front. The other 3, we had Second Lieutenant Arun Chetrapal in the Shakargarh Bunch, in the Armored Corps, again posthumous. We had Flying Officer Nimbuljeet Singh Sekhar, again posthumous. And the fourth one, Major Bashar Singh. He was the only one who survived, but that was also in Shakargarh. So in the West, there were intense battles in the Chhat area, in the JNK, but the orders were clear. The international community should not view us with an eye that we are aggressors, which Pakistan was trying to do. There were 3 UN Security Council meetings where they wanted to go for a ceasefire on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 9th. Fortunately, USSR vetoed all 3. There was a very bad time in 10th December when the Task Force 54, that is the 7th Fleet of USA, with his USS Enterprise, came to the Bay of Bengal. Along with them were UK's HMS Eagle. But fortunately, ally Russia, USSR then sent from Vladivostok 2 teams of cruisers and frigates and a nuclear submarine. Started tailing them. USA knew this could be, and they gave an ambiguous statement that we are in it with India in case anybody else joins the war. And these people disengaged. But then, I believe, that time, General Nixon rang up Brezhnev and said, stop this hot-headed Indian leadership. Otherwise, something, a flashpoint will be reached. So Brezhnev had told Prime Minister Indira Gandhi that on the east, do whatever you want, but in the west, do not go in. Overall, I would say these are the lessons learned that we have seen in this. It's a victory of humanism over barbarism, as one Michael Walzer had said. There is one of the examples of just war. Wars can never be justified, but this was one where the will of the people was totally with us. And where else would you see? Within 30 days, the mighty Indian army went in, I mean the Indian armed forces, and they disengaged and came back. No interference in the civil administration at all. It was maneuver over attrition. This is a time-tested philosophy of military warfare, blitzkrieg techniques, bypassing the centers of opposition and going into the deep areas. We had the Mukti Bahini being our eyes and ears. We had cultivated from the refugee camps, from the deserting Bangladesh regiment people. They were at the end almost 1.8 lakhs in strength, with Colonel Usmani as their leader. They also played a major role. But Pakis also had the Razakars, almost 35,000 of them. These people, these civilians, mostly Bihari Muslims, been raping and pillaging. The numbers range from 2 to 4 lakhs of women, children, and killing innocent people. So, in this sort of a scenario, it was barbaric what they were doing, but we managed to outwit them. We had a wisdom of going for liberation rather than occupation. Because the moment we had stayed back in Bangladesh, after liberating it, the whole international community, and it was not, India was not of the stature what it is today. 74 rather, there was the first Pokhran blast, and then second one in 98, which added to our stature. But in 71, we were still looked on as a developing economy. So I will finish here. We may join later if required, but I would say it is the celebration of the seamless synergy between the government, military, and diplomatic corps, and internal synergy between the 3 services. That created the rare space within which the maneuver, which was political, diplomatic, military, and quasi-military, was generated and executed in such a fantastic manner. Hats off to Team India. Thank you. and Jai Hind.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Lahiri ji. Brigadier Dr. Lahiri ji, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
In fact, it was very inspiring to hear the talk because first, what the special thing that you said is what the Indians wanted, and the Indian government also, that just liberate, don't occupy. So that is the way the Indian state, the Indian people have always been. So that is one great thing that we should be proud of our nation, our country, and all our top leaders, armed forces as well as the government. Secondly, you spoke about a lot about General Manekshaw, Field Marshal Manekshaw, in fact, and I'm happy to say here that I also had the privilege of meeting him once at India International Center. It was a great moment for me. It was a lifetime opportunity, I can say, and I still relive those moments. So it was very nice to hear from you. And in fact, I'd like to now invite Colonel Sudhakar Tyagi ji. He's a veteran and senior executive of Meerut College, and he has done enormous works in different areas. I'll read his entire biodata. So, Colonel Dr. Sudhakar Tyagi has vast experiences of about 33 years in the army. The officer has served in variety of terrain, especially Siachen sector of Jammu and Kashmir, Manipur, Assam, and Nagaland, and he has been deployed in various operational war-like and counter-insurgency scenarios. He is an artillery officer and has attended various courses of instructions to include long gunnery staff course, staff officers course, junior command course, physical training course, driving and maintenance course, and advanced gunnery course at School of Artillery, Lali, Army War College, Mau, Military College of Telecommunication Engineering, Army School of Physical Training, Pune, and Army School of Mechanical Transport, Bangalore. He holds post-graduation degrees in electronics, weapon systems, management, HR, and is a gold medalist at and masters in public administration from Kota University, Rajasthan. He completed his PhD from Department of Defense Studies, Meerut University, on geostrategic applications on security of India due to Maldives. Presently, the officer is on panel on a number of institutes as visiting guest faculty and motivational speaker, technical expert, and management teacher. In addition, he is an avid golfer and also plays a good game of squash. So, with this introduction, we'd like to invite Colonel Tyagi to kindly illuminate us on his experience and tell us about the stories of the war and later on. Colonel Tyagi, please welcome.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, all the hosts. Actually, it is my proud privilege that I'm there to speak about 71 war, which was which Brigadier Lahiri also informed about the higher directions of war that time, which were prevailing, and we are very proud that we are part of such an army. We belong to such a great nation. Actually, today, every year, everybody knows it is celebrated as VIJAY DIWAS, basically to mark our indecisive and glorious victory over Pakistan in 71 war. And it resulted in the liberation of East Pakistan and in the creation of Bangladesh. Bangladesh also celebrates Victory Day as a national holiday to commemorate their liberation from the atrocities which Pakistan Army and Pakistan as a nation unleashed on them. The overall force commander of the Pakistani force during the war, he surrendered with his forces to the Allied Force Commander of India and Bangladesh, General Arora, and it marked the end of about 9-month-long Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971. I call it 9-month-long because the preparations for the war had begun much earlier. The Bangladeshi official of Bangladesh and the commemorated India as Vijay Diwas. Also, the war was the result of struggle. Bangla.
तेरे पास है ना ये सब खाएंगे
A lot of disturbance.
भूख लग रही है
People of Bangladesh were basically denied their democratic rights, in which Sheikh Mujib, he got the majority. However, the tyrannical rulers and military of Pakistan, they refused to accept this verdict, and they imposed martial law with the aim to basically cause atrocities, teach, so-called teach Bangla people a lesson, and unleash genocide on them, on innocent Bengali people after the general election in December 1970. In March 71, the call for secession was officially raised by the people of East Bank, Pakistan, and India's former Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, she supported them in their independence struggle due to prolonged refugee problem. We had about 10 million refugees entering into Pakistan. They were entering into India, and they were creating all sorts of problems for us. The war started with preemptive air strikes on 11 Indian Air Force stations by Pakistan on 3rd of December 1971. As a result, the Indian Army agreed to support Bengali nationalist groups in their struggle for independence in East Pakistan. The war was fought on both eastern and western fronts. It was short and very intense. On 4th December, Operation Trident was launched by India. And in this operation, as everybody knows, the Indian Navy's Western Naval Command successfully conducted a surprise attack on Karachi port. It was done under the codename Op Trident. In East Pakistan, the Mukti Wahini guerrillas joined hands with Indian forces to fight against Pakistani troops in the east. During the war, some of the epic battles were fought, which Brigadier Lyrie also named some of them. They were fought at Hilli, Bogra, Jessore, Tangel, and Parbatali by Indian Army. Pakistan's mechanized forces were totally decimated in the Battle of Longewala. They were taught a lesson by the resolute Indian troops in Western sector. Soldiers of renowned 10 Para Commando Battalion, led by Lieutenant Colonel, later Brigadier Bhavani Singh, they carried out a raid deep inside Pakistan on the town of Chachro. Of course, para drop by 2 para at Tangel was a classic example of military chivalry. These battles created an example of valor in the history and showed the grit, determination, and bravery of Indian soldiers. On 14th December, the Indian Air Force attacked a house, Governor House, where a meeting was taking place with the Governor of East Pakistan. In addition, the Indian Army threatened Dhaka by operational maneuvers, due to which senior commanders of Pakistan Army were completely shaken up. As a result, the unprecedented surrender process of about 93,000 troops that started on 16th December, and Pakistani forces, they surrendered at that time. Never ever in the history such a surrender of large body of troops has taken place. The surrender took place at race course in Dhaka on 16th December. General Niazi, General Arora, both of them, they signed the instrument of surrender amidst the thousands of cheering crowd at the race course. Had the Indian Army not been there, Pakistani soldiers would have been shredded to threads by these Bangladeshis. So in a way, they did a wise thing by surrendering. Otherwise, they would have been thrown to the pieces because of the atrocities which they caused on these Bengali people. In addition to General Niazi, Vice Admiral Mohammad Sharif, commander of Pakistan's Eastern Naval Command, and AVM Patrick D. Callaghan, he was Pakistan Army's Eastern Air Command. He also signed the agreement. Both of them also signed the agreement, basically indicating the tri-services surrender to Indian Army. The instrument of surrender was a written agreement, and it enabled the surrender of Pakistan's troops and civilian administrators in the east, and marked the end of India-Pakistan War of 1971 in Eastern Theatre. General Arora accepted the surrender without a word, while the crowd on the race course was shouting anti-Niazi and anti-Pakistani slogans. Air Commodore Khankar of Bangladesh Air Force, Armed Force, and General Jacob, who was Chief of Staff, Eastern Command, they were there as witness to the surrender. And in fact, the very famous photo of signing of instrument of surrender, both of them are also present. Thus, on 16th December, Bangladesh was born as a new nation, and East Pakistan became independent from Pakistan. Officially, the war lasted for 13 days. It ended on 16th December after Pakistani armed forces surrendered unconditionally. It was the greatest ever victory, and India rose as a regional power to reckon with. The victory becomes even more remarkable due to the fact that first time ever in the history of mankind, a nation liberated another nation and retreated after handing over the power to its citizens without any undue concessions for itself. The generosity speaks volumes about national character of our nation as such. The war was fought due to widespread genocide of the people of East Pakistan, which was carried out by Pakistan. The war is considered as a historical milestone for India, and hence it truly deserves to be celebrated as Vijay Diwas. It is said that in the war of 71, about 3,900 Indian soldiers attained martyrdom, and about 10,000 soldiers were injured. The war was an ethical war to give a rightful place to the people of Bangladesh and provide relief to the millions of people who had migrated to India to take shelter, food, and medical support. One of the most decisive wars of 20th century, it witnessed large-scale atrocities, the exodus of about 10 million refugees, and the killing of 3 million people by the Pakistani armed forces. India was the first country to have recognized Bangladesh on 6th December. War started on 3rd December, and India recognized Bangladesh as an independent nation on 6th December. Most United Nations members subsequently, they were quick to recognize Bangladesh within months of its independence. The surrender of Pakistan armed forces to Indian armed forces marked the end of Bangladesh Liberation War and the creation of Bangladesh. The crushing defeat to Pakistan in 1971 was possible due to grit, resolve, and determination of Indian soldiers, duly led by the able generals like General Manik Shah, General Arora, General Sagat Singh, and we as a nation owes a lot to them. This is the day basically to remind us to take an oath to continue with the motto of service before self. The victory over East Pakistan reminds about a famous quote on the Indian soldier, that a true soldier fights on because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. And it is true in each measure as far as Indian soldier is concerned. It is the love and faith of our countrymen on soldiers which continues to motivate them to fight and even be ready for ultimate sacrifice should there be a need for it. I am sure in any future war also the enemy is bound to suffer the same fate due to such a steely resolve of Indian Defence Forces. My salute to the fellow comrades because of whom we can breathe freedom. I think I'll take a break now, and I hand you over, Shajit.
Thanks a lot, Colonel Tyagi. It was very interesting, and you narrated stories of all our great soldier leaders, military leaders who did a great service not only to India and the Indian nation, but to the entire world, giving a birth to Bangladesh and handing it over, as well as saving the Pakistani soldiers, as you said, because the kind of atrocities they had done, the people would have really given me a hard time. So thanks a lot. And would you be there for discussion later on for some time?
I'm there. I'll be there.
Great, great. That will be very good. That will be very good. So that we can take the questions in the end. Now I'd like to invite our another eminent speaker over here, Colonel Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta Rai ji. He has. In fact, I wanted to keep him in the end because he had fought in the war as captain then. So he was in the western sector though, and so I'll read his biography, brief biography. Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta Ray was born in 1946 at village Madhavi in Dhaka district. After partition of India, he migrated to Kolkata in 1950. He graduated from Kolkata University in 1967 and joined 9 Sikh on 12 Jan 1969. He participated in the 71 Bangladesh War as an officer of 9 Sikh in Nogam sector, subsector under 104 Brigade 19 Division. The unit had captured 45 square kilometer of enemy area on a single-handedly in the entire 19 Division sector. After the battle, the officer was posted in 16 Sikh in 1975. As an officiating commanding officer, he took the battalion from Lucknow to Palali Airport in Jaffna within 24 hours to join Operation Pawan on 16 October with a strength of only 220 soldiers out of battalion strength of approximately 850. The battalion reached Jaffna fort within 3 days and captured half the Jaffna town within another 3 days. He held staff appointments from brigade to command headquarters both in operation and logistics. He retired in May 1999. In fact, he has authored 2 books also, one named Sri Lanka Misadventure along with Colonel Gautam Das, and another book was Birth of a Nation on 1971 Bangladesh War. So I request Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta Ray ji to deliver his talk.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
you're audible.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta Ray. Well, as you say, narrated rightly, my small synopsis. Yes, I participated in the western sector, that is north of Srinagar, about 100 kilometers. There is a subsector called Nagaon under the 19th Division and part of 104 Brigade. We were strung along the...
Sir, it would be great if you can open your camera.
Hello?
Sir, I'm saying it would be great if you can open your camera.
I'm not finding my name, so I'm looking for my name to open my
Sir,
camera.
Raisa, you have to start your camera. That means you have to stop video. You must unstop that.
Pardon, can I be seen?
No, we can't see your face. That is because you have muted the camera.
Pardon? I am not getting my name in the entire chart.
See, on the bottom you will see one is the mute and then is the stop video. That if you can unstop the video.
Pardon?
I think if you are not getting it, you might as well carry on with the audio only.
I can't see my name anywhere.
Name is there with us. Here we are seeing it. You actually, you speak, sir. You are speaking very well. A little louder will be better. Thank you.
Okay, I just speak for what time. We were holding the features from 9,000 to 11,050, 11,500 feet height. So we had started our operation on 3rd of December after the Pakistani struck the 13 airports, the defense airfields. So on 3rd night, the Indian Air Force struck them. Thereafter, we are rolled down. Initially, we were holding defenses, but we were told to go for attack across the border over Tutmari Gully. There is a gully through which the Pakistani infiltrator used to pass through those days. So we had started initially we were holding defenses, but we were told to take offensive operations also. It is a very rare combination that one battalion holding defenses is also asked to go for offenses. But we didn't mind it. We re-established, repositioned, our CO did the repositioning of the battalion, and he could take out a braver company from the battalion, and he attacked the first post which was confronting us, that is called Thandapani. It was a brave fight. We had gone. We started going down from the height of 11,500 toward 9,000 feet to the still night, full of full of beauty, Kashmiri beauty, which you are going to break with the fire of the weapons. Anyway, the battle carried on from 12 to 1200. Sorry, 0200. Up to 0200, we had the fighting, the battle, and then it was a hand-to-hand fight, and uh, after some time, they had given up. They started running away. We chased them for some time, and then we had captured the Thandapani area, and we then expected them to counterattack, but they didn't do that. In the morning, we had gone for another post, which is called Kaya Bol. There was an interesting thing that the Kaya Bol, when we were attacking, we had come from the top. We had climbed the 12,000 feet height and then rolled down. That post was at the height of, I think, 6,700 feet. So what is interesting was they were expecting us to come from a different side, and they had illuminated that side. But we came from a difficult area, from the top to bottom, downwards. So they didn't expect us to come from that side. So we got all the benefit of the lighting, as if we were going for a barat. We could see them, they couldn't see us. So it is again a fight, interesting fight. And of course, they were surprised. We went up to almost 20 meters before they could realize. But the fight was good. And one MMG machine gun which was stopping us, that was attacked by one of our JCOs who was national athlete. He could go stealthily with another person and took the machine gun out of the bunker by hand. So that was the bravery showed. With that, the bunker, when was silenced, our soldiers could then go and attack and finish the job. So like that, we had interesting battles for 13 days. We fought. We could capture 45 square kilometer of the area. Another battle was very interesting. That was the battle we were supposed to attack at night, 10 o'clock, but somehow our company commander who was to attack that reached there by 2 o'clock, and he attacked straight away at daylight. And that time those people were having tea, as if the peace empty time. They're totally surprised. And actually, surprise plays a very vital role in any battle. So we captured that. Like that, we captured about, as I said. So it was the battle is one side, and the history which created by the 71 war is one of the rarest of the rare battle in the entire history of the humanity. Because this was the only battle which was fought to free a country, a group of people who are under annihilation. No other battle has been fought in India in the history of the warfare where an army went and freed people and came back.
Gupta sir, you are not audible. Colonel Gupta sir.
I think he's unable to see. Let me try to call him.
Okay, okay.
Till the time we are waiting for Mr. Lieutenant Colonel Gupta sir to come, just a small question I wish to ask from both our speakers, Sopan sir and Sudhakar sir. Sir, what like in the time of war, you have basically mentioned that the officers took various decisions regarding the war strategy. So, like in individual life, like we are in the individual life, we have time when we need to take decisions. Do we have this type of thing in mind कि by any chance if our decision goes wrong, what will happen? Like this thing कि जो हम सोच रहे हैं, जो decision हम लेने वाले हैं, अगर वो decision सही नहीं हुआ, तो it may like impact many lives. और स्पेशली इन आर्मी अगर डिसीजन सही नहीं हुआ तो मार्टरडम जिसकी आप बात कर रहे हैं, फैमिलीज अफेक्ट होती हैं उससे. तो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मतलब डिसीजन मेकिंग के टाइम पे क्या सोचते हैं ऑफिसर्स, या फिर क्या दिमाग में चलता है, ये इस बारे में आप कुछ शेयर करना चाहें? Papan sir or Sudhakar sir, anyone can answer.
Colonel Sudhakar Tyagi ji. Hello.
Okay, I think Brigadier Lahiri is not there. Anyway, I will take it on. Who asked this question? I just forgot the name.
Krishna.
Oh, okay, Krishna Trivedi.
Krishna
Okay, I will
Trivedi
take
is
it
the
on.
founder of Trivedi is the founder of Together We Dream. Our
Okay, that's
key
great.
partner. Yeah.
That's great. I'll take it on. Actually, for decision making, the very important thing is the intent. If the intent is, fair, if it is honest, it doesn't take. There is no problem in taking decision. Only thing is, because as officers, you are trained. If in case you are trained well, you are trained to do a job, then and your intent is correct, your intent is good, then there is no problem in taking decision. There may be failures. The biggest problem which one faces while taking decision is basically the fear of failure. That what if the decision go wrong? Decisions may go wrong. At times it may go wrong. But if your intent is good and you have been trained to do a particular task and you are taking decision, you have taken a decision with good intent, there is no problem. There is no problem. Okay, and we go with a positive mindset. Even if the decision go wrong, no problem. The outcome may be different, but main important thing is the intent. If the intent is good, even if the decision go wrong, no problem. We'll go bash on regardless. No, okay. So I guess as far as the welfare of your troops is there, this all of course it remains at the uppermost in the mind of the officers. But while taking the operational decision, it comes natural because of the training. It comes natural. And more often than not, the decisions are good. And even though something goes wrong, we reinforce it. Sir, Brigadier Lahiri, sir, you would like to supplement, compliment, sir.
Sir,
I'd
just
really like to add that our Chetwood motto saying that it's always your nation which each and every time. If this is at the back of your mind, and you take a decision as Colonel Tyagi has brought out with a noble intent, things generally work out well. And you must remember that armed forces with its pyramidal structure have a very experienced bunch of officers at the helm of affairs. For example, commanding officer today has got minimum 20 to 22 years of service. The general officer commanding of a division itself is 30 plus. And so with this type of experience behind them, and we have, although we are not fighting wars day in and day out, and the last big one was in 71, and the limited one in 99, and of course there was a power in between in 80s. Under the peace circumstances, we keep training in our war gaming sessions, in our exercise sessions, where people are put through such rigorous 3 nights consecutively. I've seen general officers not being allowed to sleep. That means for 72 hours, like one-life conditions. Actually, in war, you get time to rest in your bunkers, but not in these. So these are situations created so that this person has to apply his mind under such circumstances and do the best. As I said again, if your intentions are noble and you've kept the nation in mind, the organization you serve to do the best and not get involved with your ego assholes, I think 80% of the time things are okay. But like in war, there are no certainties. It's a total chaotic situation, and in that you are trying to work out a certain future for yourself. Thank you.
Yes, thanks a lot, Colonel Tyagi and Brigadier Lahiri. Uh, I think our guest, Lieutenant Colonel Gupta, is unable to connect, it seems.
I actually, Raghunath, but I'm not able to get through to him. He sent a message that I seem to be cut off. Maybe because he is in Calcutta and Airtel, in the Bill and receiving end now with Geo 5G. So he must be a victim of that.
While
So,
once he comes back, then we can have him again.
yes,
So
yes.
what we can do is, I request meanwhile Lieutenant Dr. Meenu, if she can hear me, so to kindly speak for maybe 4 or 5 minutes on the on her experience and Lieutenant Dr. Meenu Vashini ji, are you there? Lieutenant Dr. Meenu Vashini ji, can you hear me? Krishna, can you check with her? Krishna, can you check with her? Not able to hear. Sure. Meanwhile, I'll carry with some questions. You please check with her. So, just to add the after Colonel Tyagi, I didn't after Colonel Tyagi, after Colonel Gupta was speaking, so just wanted to add the kind of descriptions he gave about the army. And interesting thing, one of the most interesting descriptions I said he gave about that was like a barat, and they took machine gun by hand, and like the way the lights, in the lights they couldn't see enemy could be seen and all. So kind of with descriptions, these kind of things, we sometimes feel that we are back to that place. I think Colonel Gupta is able to come online. I'm seeing him unmute. So Colonel Gupta, can you carry on, please? If you can hear me. You can carry on, Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta, sir. From where we left. Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta, sir, you are unmute, so you can carry on from where you left.
Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can. We can hear. Please carry on.
Yeah. Actually, we had, as I was saying, we have fought a number of battles one by one. Narrating every battle will take a lot of time. So I narrated one. The second one, which was narrating, is that we had attacked this post, which is called Kaya Ball, from a very different angle. Difficult which enemy didn't perceive, so we could surprise them to go almost to the up to 20 meter of their defenses. And the battle was hard. All right. One machine gun of theirs was captured, which was ready or advanced, was captured by one junior commissioned officer with so and is one of his Johns. That opened up the route, and in the mountains, the battle is unlike the normal terrain. It is a small battle everywhere because the deployability is not more than 5 to 6 people in one ledge. So it is fought in echelon, one after another. So like that, we had to fight for about 2 hours. End of that battle, the interesting part was that in any kind of battle, when you capture a post, the enemy tries to counterattack to take that post. That is almost like a drill. So when our troops were waiting for the counterattack, and lo behold, it came at about 4:30. And by that time, our ammunitions were running very slow, very low. And yeah, we are left with about 20-25 rounds of rifle and about 40-45 rounds of machine gun. So we are almost ready to be to surrender if they really could get on us. But somehow we saw that they came up to 20, about 30-35 meter, and they went back. We heaved a sigh of relief that, and we were very facing the attack. So, and we got saved. So in the morning, we went out to see the recce the area to see what happened, how many casualties. And is also enemy when you fight. But after the fight is over, we are supposed to take care of them. There we found Major was killed and lying down. So there we realized that those people lost their nerve when they found their officer was killed. Maybe still it is unresolved, but we feel that because of the death of the Major Saab, they lost their nerve. After all, everybody the life is precious to everybody, whether he's a soldier or he's a normal common man. Life is life. So they left it at that point. So we are saved. So it's a very planning was to attack at night 10 o'clock. And they had received that message through their wireless. Those days, security was not as much as today. One could monitor the conversation and traffic, and they could find out what is happening. So they were very sure that we were coming at 10 o'clock for the attack. So they at 2:30 they are having a tea like a normal peace station, and we that time reached there. They seeing us, they're dumbfounded, and we attacked. So and that after all they are also soldiers. They pick their beats very soon, and again, war is what is a distraction. You destroy one another. The God creates, we destroy. So that fight was going on. Then that counterattack. Next is the counterattack. And that counterattack was so heavy that we were almost being thrown out. But by that time, our medium artillery gun could come in from the other sector. That medium machine gun fire could save us. And when the battle was over, we could read from the Pakistan news that the colonel, which was the commanding officer of that battalion, he was also killed by that artillery fire. So, like that, there have been many episodes. We had a commando platoon going inside. We had a company going up to 25, 35 kilometers inside to cut the enemy from the behind, so that their replenishments, their reinforcement couldn't come in. So a lot of things happened. So telling that will take a lot of time. But the point is that what is the main crux of the battle? That the good won over bad. That what you say, the good won over evil. So that really one of the few things. This is only battle in the world history of warfare, where a neighboring army had gone inside to save the complete race from the annihilation by their own governance and came back without taking anything. Otherwise, any army goes inside, it doesn't come up. It doesn't come back. So that's the greatness as we talk about our civilization, as we talk about the culture, it really saving the downtrodden by a big brother. So I wonder that is remembered or not, because people's memory is very short. But we really, and I being the part of that country which was freed, I myself very good. Though we were thrown out from there at one point of time, but that's okay, fine. There's a life is like that. But we are very happy that we could really free a complete race from the annihilation. So that is what I would like to say. There are a lot of teaching, a lot of small battles which you have fought. You keep on narrating that, it will take long time. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Lieutenant Colonel Gupta ji. It was wonderful hearing. And then the most important point that is great about our country is that you said is that two things, in fact. One is that after the war, even the enemy soldier, we give due respects to them and hand them over or do the last rites. Second is that you said that we were a neighbor who went there to save the entire race from annihilation. It's very important because, as we say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, our tradition has never been to attack and occupy a country, be it from historical times. Our enemies went to far off countries, put on crown, or someone local was on crown there, or some of their family went there, then they stayed there only. They didn't do what was brutalities that were done in other countries. So that is the greatness. And in fact, the Indian Army, the heritage of the Indian Army, armed forces, in fact, is great and huge. And I think we need to put this further across the world, that the thing that what happened in 1971 was not a country fighting against a country to liberate a country, but it was a thing that the world should celebrate, because that is what we did. We didn't take any benefits. We didn't take any part of Bangladesh in our country. In fact, we gave everything to the Bangladeshi people, and still we are try to maintain good relations, try to help them. So this is a very good thing. And this year India is the host of G20 group, and that is the way leadership has to come. A country that has this kind of mindset. The country has this kind of mindset. Even the armed forces of the country, armed forces generally occupy areas, but they also have this kind of tradition and thought and this ideology. So this is unique with us. So thanks a lot, and it was great listening to you about the stories and of the bunkers, of the capturing of
Another
material.
very important thing which has taught this war has taught is that the genesis of the partition, the two-nation theory, was wrong. But the same two-nation theory, because both the they fought amongst themselves. That means it was not the religion which really binds people. It is the culture. It is the outlook of the people, how they're developed. Because even the Yahya Khan told that these people are more Hinduite, East Bengal people, that is Pakistan people, because they have been living together. So they had some kind of distrust to on these people of East Pakistan. He at one place told that if we can kill 4 lakhs Bengalis, they will eat from our hand. So that is the attitude they had on the East Pakistan people. East Pakistan, those days, East Pakistan's raw materials used to be exported, and the most of the earnings used to be spent at West Pakistan. In fact, from the 1949, when this fellow their problem started from 1952, when they declared the Urdu as the national language and Bengali was not there. So they started their battle from the 1952, if we can say. That of course had taken a bigger shape after 71, but they never were together. So this part of Pakistan, where to go from today? Actually, I don't know whether I've discussed or not, how the battle started. Battle started because the Awami League, the political party of the East Pakistan got the majority vote, and they were not allowed to form the national government. There the conflict started. And the Bhutto had 180 out of 313, and Army League 168 out of 313, so their majority. Though Yahya Khan was ready to hand over that power to them, but Bhutto didn't allow. So this happened. Then the history started rolling. In 1970 election, they lost to the West East Pakistans. So that started. So as long as we are going for the hunger of power only, conflict will carry on. Only thing what we have to do is that we're going to be strong. We're going to be economically strong, we're going to be militarily strong. This is the only way to save a country. Otherwise, there's no other way. By mere talking, this thing, nothing will happen unless one is strong himself. So I guess at the end of our life, we see our country developing strong, and no in-between problems, only unity. And those days we saw the unity of India from Kanyakumari to north, all together, all were for that battle. Parliament was together, all the Indians were together. Not a single people had any crib. They all wanted to fight for these people. For these people were getting killed, butchered. There were 1 crore people who were having the refugees. We had refugee camp in Bengal, Assam, Bihar, then Tripura. All are full of these refugees. So anyway, so thank you so much for calling me. I beg your leave. And what you said very rightly, the power has to generate from the defense preparation and economic preparation. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Sir, please be for maybe 15-20 minutes. We might have some question for you. Thanks a lot. Again, in fact, just to add about the partitions and all, because it was not based on religion, it was based on selfish hatred and selfish interest. Because Had it been for religion, then Bangladesh, why would Bangladesh again separate from Pakistan? And then culture, of course, was important. But Punjabis are on the both sides of the border. So a lot of issues were there when you talk of history and why these things happened, and when you do research on history and also. But we are proud that our armed forces have maintained the unity of the country and have been at our defense always and taking service before self, as the theme of the today's talk is also there. So now I'd move on, and I'll like anyone who wants to have any question to raise hand, and our honorable speakers are there to answer to you. Anyone who has a question can raise their hand. Because I am quite fulfilled with the talk, so I don't have much questions right now because it is a very fulfilling talk. Maybe I'll have 2-3 points if there is no one to question, because that is there. So I think there is no question. If there is I'll take it up. So maybe I'll take 4 or 5 minutes time to just sum up and then thank, and then also put across few of my points that is there, because this
Hello, am I
tradition.
audible?
Yes, we are.
I would like to ask one question to Lieutenant Colonel M.K. Gupta, sir. Sir, when your troops were heading towards the war, what kind of environment was there in the unit, basically amongst the troops? Like when we naturally go for work, there is this we call corporate culture and all. So what kind of environment, work environment was there? Like what every soldier was thinking at that time of war? Because there was no certainty. Maybe you are alive today, you may die tomorrow. So what kind of environment was there? What kind of mindset was there in the? I hope,
Question, very good question. You see, their mindset is the main thing to win or lose the war. That is called morale. We call in our jargon, in military jargon, morale. When the morale is high, you can achieve anything. Now, as far as corporate culture, let me tell you one thing. Army is the oldest corporate. What is corporate? Corporate is working together. We talk about corporate is the oldest corporate is where we work together. Now, what this battle had on us is that it was carrying on for 9 months, and every day that these people are being raped, being killed, being butchered for no reason. And they are demand of making the government by East Pakistan party, that Army League, was genuine. They had won the election, and on top of that, they were just being butchered. I mean, you can't imagine what was situation there. When we captured the intern sector, the ladies were freed from the bunkers and the trenches. So you can imagine. So we were seething in rage from July. When somebody is being tortured, when seeing us, a point came in the battle, the enemy used to run away. Enemy, otherwise, for a battalion to capture 45 square kilometer in the mountain, you cannot imagine the fatigue and the problem. And the time was December, when this coldest part of the season. And we had nothing much. 71, we had nothing much to talk about our equipment, our clothing. We had fought without anything. 71 में क्या था? Hardly 25 or 22 years or 25-year old India was. A few thousand crore was the GDP. But then it is we every soldier became a Superman. And that is how he just. I can only talk about that part. As you said, what we felt. We felt to jump. One thing is there that yes, nobody likes to be shot. That point was initially when I entered the battle, I was a young officer. Initially, we thought that all the bullets are coming on me, I thought. But then after 2-3 days, as Netaji said, that bullet has got your name inscribed. It was true for him, true for me also. I'm alive because I'm alive. That's all. I will tell a simple story. When I was going for capturing one particular post, I had a wireless operator through whom I used to communicate. He was following me. At one point of time, when I was controlling the artillery fire, he just went one step ahead of me. He got the bullet. He fell down. I remained standing. Because in mountain, you go in one line. You cannot go in extended line. So that is the risk factor, as you asked me. But we are very much for it, and we knew that we'll win because we had the morale, we had the good side on us. We were not perpetrator. So we felt good to do that. Thank you so much. I hope I could explain.
Thanks a lot, Colonel Saab. It was very interesting morale. And then one thing you said that mountains one has to go in one line. So that is there, that kind of risk and that kind of safety, both you can say is there. So, and every soldier is like a Superman. So that is very important point one has to bear in mind. So, Krishna, is there anyone who has a question? Anyone else? I'll just talk for maybe 2-3 minutes and we'll sum up, or if Brigadier Lahiri has any point or
Sir,
contribution.
I have one more question from Swapan sir and Sudhakar sir. Uh, can I proceed?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, Together We Dream as an organization is I am trying to build it to support students to pursue their dream. So when we talk about this Vijay Divas, it's about victory through courage and through determination, through perseverance. So if Swapan sir and Sudhakar sir can give some advice to the students who are in between 9 to 12 and wish to pursue their dream choice, how they can get victory over every difficulty and obstacle that comes over their path. Because in India, what we are taught is to have a safe path. We are not taught to take risk to pursue our dream. As an organization, I am trying to build it. So I believe the Indian Army people like you are the most correct person to like share experience how taking risk, taking pragmatic risk can be fruitful. So like advice or suggestion for the students who wish to pursue their dreams. First, Swapan sir, then Sudhakar sir can answer this question.
Very good question, Mr. Trivedi. I have been involved for about 8-9 years in a college, engineering college as a director, and I've seen uh, how important it is that the young people who are at these levels pick up the right kind of messages. We brought out an issue that we are generally not such risk takers by and large, except for probably some communities who are very good at risk management and financial issues. But the same people, but my own experience has been a little otherwise. I've seen, I was in the high altitude areas, people behave differently, and Colonel Ye and Colonel Tyagi can also explain Colonel. Under difficult circumstances, you may find that a Jawan, otherwise very humble looking, modest in his behavior, but under exceptional circumstances, something else works in him. And he rises to the occasion. You see a different picture. This man is different from what I have seen, and there are Kanakhans who are maybe wrestler champion, wrestling champion or something. And those, when we went first to high altitude, we started having panic attacks and all that. So, really speaking, I feel it is wrong on our part to think that we are not able to sustain any physical. It is all about the mindset, as Colonel Ray was saying. If there is a just cause, then there's no reason why our Indian soldiers, and if you read Defeat into Victory by Field Marshal Smith, where the Britishers had initially thought after the Singapore surrender, it was larger than this 93,000, 110,000 troops surrendered to the Japanese. That the British troops used to feel that the Japanese are phantom fighters. There was no prisoner of war from the Japanese. I mean, Burma campaign, initially they were not seen or heard, but they were just capturing territory. This sort of a situation, Field Marshal Flynn himself, a school teacher type looking character, who had not been from the elite public schools of military public schools of UK, but he came in, he forged the team, and he says we found each race has a different. Initially, when we look at them superficially, it looks different. The Sardars are so flamboyant, they will go like 6 troops were there. They have a different ethos, they will go and very roughshod in that sort of a scenario. The Gurkhas, again, they are a ferocious lot. If they have the proper leadership, there's nothing that can stop them, as the Field Marshal said. He said the Hindu or Muslim Indians who are shorter in height and all that, but when under circumstances, when the bullets are flying, they are not at all deterred. They don't. That time the trait comes in. So I would appeal to all our young people that the armed forces is a fantastic exposure. I mean, there's nothing like it to build up your character. As far as some people have a long notion that the armed forces, we do drill and shooting and nothing much. But I can tell you that all the UN missions all over the world, where are Indian Army is more than Indian Armed Forces, I would say. Sorry, being an Army guy, I tend to forget. But armed forces, wherever the Indian Armed Forces are there in the UN missions, the mission commander, there may be 20, 30 army reps there. They always depend on the Indian Army contingent because the sort of meticulous planning that is taught in the armed forces and the sort of discipline that is included in our training build up that sort of a thing. As far as the salary level, I would say today I am staying in a camp area just behind the College of Military Engineering. I see the sort of prosperity that is there amongst the now the service cadre. It's definitely much, much better than what we have seen in our days. With the things happening that way, so financially you are well off. You have a fantastic ambience, environment. I mean, yes, there is rank structure. You have to, you would say you have to obey, but not blindly. The boss knows how to deal with his subordinates, whether it is the junior officers or the men under him. Unjust orders, if they are passed, you can always disobey them. But by and large, this doesn't happen in 80% of the situation. So, if one wants to have a very clean life, ethical life, where there is no issues of corruption, etc., in 90% of the cases, there are those 10%. I'm on a public platform, but we are part of society. And where we get involved with the civil services or contractual obligations, etc., there are elements who do such things and they get highlighted, exaggerated in the social media and news media. My experience shows that 90% of the people that are in the armed forces, Jawans, no question, they're totally there with you all the time. The JCOs, the officer cadre, is a very clean organization. And you have a very good setup until the level of colonel, when the who are commanding officers, your life is absolutely clean and one with desire. So I would advise, but to get into the armed forces, the officer cadre is very tough. The Service Selection Board, SSB, there are so many officers, children who can't make it because they are looking at your mindset. As Kenny Ray was bringing out, it is a mindset which works. And a team spirit is exceedingly important. That is the point where I have an issue, that we tend to be a little self-centered at times. and the SSB finds batches and batches of guys who are otherwise intellectually good, but they don't have that team spirit. They don't have that mindset to sacrifice themselves when called for. That is the time. So for that, I would say you have to cultivate those things. Think more about others, as our old Indian traditions say. Don't live only for yourself, live for others. And this century today is opening up to India. Our armed forces are getting more and more exposure all over the world. They are looking forward to the armed forces people in all UN missions, in any USA wants us to take up the gauntlet for the crowd physically because they know no matter how much of politicking the seniors do, ultimately, if it is the soldiering required against China, it is India which can do it. We have the stature to do it. So there are tremendous possibilities for those joining the armed forces now, and this is the right time from 9 to 12 to get in. And if you want to enjoy, I would say, the free civil life, join as a short service officer. There are tremendous opportunities. When you want to leave, you are given exposure and IIMs, etc. I retired after 33 years of service as a brigadier because I was superannuated. I joined late after doing my MSc, so age was against me. So there I went through executive MBA in Ahmedabad, and all with a little bit of contribution by me. I did it at the armed forces course and got into a corporate sector. So my issue is that this is an organization where there's so much of camaraderie, so much of family feeling. I've been in the corporate also. Maybe one odd has it, Tatas have it. Generally, it is not there. So that's my one advice. Colonel Tyagi and Colonel Ray can advise further.
Thank you, sir. I would like to just add on a few points, although you have covered everything. Uh, actually, for the class 9th and 10th students, those who are aspiring to join defense forces, this is the time actually for the parents to inculcate good qualities in them. I mean, I'll sincerely advise. Basically, the importance of timing, discipline, character. This is the time when parents should focus on inculcating these virtues in them, which will come handy to them when they go for subsequently for the selection and consideration for joining the armed forces. Apart from academic virtues which are there, which certainly will be good for clearing them the exam, written exam. SSB considers the cadets and they check the cadets basically from their latent qualities which are there, and it is very important to showcase these qualities to the SSB at the time of SSB, and one cannot duplicate or forge these qualities. If one has it, he has it. If training may help a bit, but more often than not, if the student has these virtues in him genuinely, then it helps him to clear the exam. Nowadays, not only boys, even girls are also joining armed forces. At NDA, girls are allowed. So my advice to them would be to inculcate the habit of good reading, to inculcate the virtues of discipline, character building, and now they should focus on that. Basically, play games. This is the time they should play games. Games also they help building a character and personality in a great deal. So I'm sure with all these points, they would be able to clear. And like Brigadier Lahiri sir has said, he is a very senior officer. The armed forces is a very good career. It affords very good opportunity, and I'm sure I would advise all the youngsters to consider armed forces also as one of the career in their life. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Brigadier Swapan Kumar Lahiri ji and Colonel Sudhakar Tyagi ji. It was wonderful points. One thing I have in mind that we have been talking and discussing and trying to work with together with Dream and NEVA, our partners, is that we are trying to create in Khushigram like communities where veterans come and inspire and motivate people, and they help do some kind of sports and then physical activities, kind of safety, security, so that every community is safe from inside. What is happening is we don't have that bravery, that courage in mind to fight any kind of small things. Everything we are dependent on police and for security, and also these kind of things, to training to girls also, maybe in some martial arts and some other arts and combative skills and some sports. That is what we are looking at, so that this is also taken care of, as well as the experience and expertise of the veterans is also utilized post their services, because the kind of services and the life they have a joyful, interesting life. So the kind of life when they come to the civil kind of our kind of lives, normal humans kind of life, it is totally different. The environment is not so like interesting, and also sort of to give them also a to utilize their experience and expertise. That is what we are looking at in different fields, because they are from various cadres and they are some of the best people, maybe engineering, medical, or whatever, telecom, and whatever things that, or even artillery, and whatever regiments or brigades they have served. They are really the top people in the country. So to utilize them for the sustainable development of the country at every levels, that is what we are looking at when we like to take it forward. Maybe you can add one, two lines, because we are actually running quite late on time. So maybe you can add 2, 3 lines on this, all three of you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great interacting, Ajit. Actually, I was posted in NCC in my last stint in Meerut. So, and there I was privy to the activities which Neve and Kushigram is doing. I used to keep hearing a lot about you guys all. You are doing a wonderful job, and it has been wonderful interacting with you on the platform.
Lahari ji.
Yeah, thank you, Ajit ji. You are my school time. So, in any case, in my case, Patna, that apart, it was a very happy interaction. And to tell you frankly, there is a very large veteran community all over India, and there's a large quantum of experience that is residing in them. And it is for civil society to tap into this, and maybe that is what our current government is trying to do. And I feel that it shouldn't be left to government alone. It has to be a two-way process where the civil society comes up and takes on this sort of a thing. In this manner, I have a feeling that these sort of what you have done now in the VIJAY DIWAS, these are definitely build up the awareness level, because somehow we look at our history, except for one of dynasty in Chola dynasty and Maurya Empire, Indian history, military history is not really something which has been, because we have been Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that may be there, but that apart, professional armies haven't been there. So I have my own feeling that this has to be inculcated, a sort of awareness that this is a sort of profession which definitely builds up your character, gives you opportunities, and builds up the nation as well. So I would definitely like to contribute whichever small way you asked me to. And I have been doing in those 8 years that I was there as a director. I was also there in CII as a Pune district head to interact with the institutes. But that apart, age does play a role. We can't do martial arts training and all that, but definitely we would like to motivate young people, because motivation is, I feel, the most important characteristic. You see in football now, World Cup, the way countries like Morocco and Croatia fight in spite of not having the skill levels that they have. So that mindset, that sort of team spirit is what we need to inculcate. It's coming up, but it should not be the soda water kind. actually a sustained undercurrent which uh, takes all the people, binds all the people together and gives us a fist which can bash through any opposition. Thank you.
Great. Colonel Gupta, please.
So yes, I would like to say that wherever our children are going, whether defense, welcome, or anywhere else, self-disciplining is most important aspect, and self-actualization and the second point very much important to do well. As Einstein said that 90 to be great, 99% is persuasion and 1% is aspiration. So your aspiration work has to be very methodical and repetition experiment. Like whenever somebody is any point somebody is thinking that I am not up to the mark, he has to do it again and again. There is no other way, no shortcut than hard work in doing well in life, especially the days which are coming. Competition is soaring high. So whatever job one does, the children, they're like my grandchildren. Whatever I could say that whatever you want to do, friends, you have to do it well. Like in army, I used to tell my Jawans that in army there is no second place because you get killed or you kill. So that killer instinct you have to have there, that I have to do it. So with that, I am sure you will all do very well. Baki, there is no other way but hard work and disciplining yourself and time management. Don't waste your time and read. It is not only your subject which matters, it matters on a complete horizon of knowledge. So with that, I would like to say that go ahead and do well. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Colonel Gupta. It was wonderful listening to you and also responses of Colonel Tyagi and Brigadier Sapat Kumar Lahari ji. It was great being here. Krishna, is there any question? I think we should close now. Krishna, should we close now? I think we should close now.
It's really a great meeting, everyone. And probably I will be sharing the idea and proposal of Together We Dream with all of you, all the speakers. Because as a youth, I wish to build an organization which supports the dream of students. So it would be great if you people can guide me through how we can accelerate this idea to reach a greater audience. Thank you all for giving your valuable time to us.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you
Thank you.
once again.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.